the content of the test, besides the writing question, hasn't changed. The test is the same. You could pick up an old book from, 5 years, even 10 years ago. The number of questions will be different. The way it's spread out is a little different, but the content itself really hasn't changed much at all. So my strategies are not that much different as they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. A lot of it is just updating the content to be reflective of what's happening now. So little things have been cut away. So for example, the reading section, the last question in both sections is usually something called a summary question. They also sometimes had something called fill in the table questions. And that I have not seen or heard of in a very long time. So I still teach it because according to ETS, that question has not gone away, but I have not heard reports of it showing up on the test. The other thing that changed, and this is more concrete, is that there are far fewer vocabulary questions. So when they reduced the number of questions in each TOEFL reading passage from 13 to 10, they had to cut away some questions. And what they cut mostly is the vocabulary questions. There used to be a lot of vocabulary questions, and they were really simple. I mean, there was just a word, and then you had to find a synonym, which word, the vocabulary question is still there, but there's only about 1 or 2 per passage. In the past, there used to be 3 to 5, so a lot less of that. The listening, something that has evolved over time is the note-taking strategy, because I get a lot of pushback on note-taking. Some people hate it. Some people think it's not helpful. Some people think that it doesn't, they can't listen and take notes at the same time. So I've gone through a lot of, different things with note-taking strategies for listening. And what I've settled on now is basically, showing some kind of ways of taking notes, showing how I take notes. And if people are struggling to take notes, it's up to them if they want to take notes or not. But if they want to practice at home and try to get better at it, I usually recommend that they only write down, let's say, for example, 5 words. You're going to listen to a passage, just write down 5 words. That's it. That's all you do. Write down 5 words. And having a kind of goal in mind that you're thinking, I'm going to try to find the 5 most important words, actually tends to have a pretty positive impact on people's listening and on their note-taking in general. So that is one reason why I often recommend to students, just write down 5 words. That's it. And then if that goes okay, you think it's helpful, all right, try to write 6 words tomorrow or 7 when you practice. So with note taking, I tend to tell people to start small, and really your goal is not to write down everything or memorize everything. Your goal is just to try to identify the most important things and write them down. With the speaking section, the things that have changed is, there's fewer questions and there's fewer independent questions, which is where you have to come up with the ideas by yourself. You have to think of things by yourself. So there's less of an emphasis on that. Nowadays, I focus a lot on how to read and listen well. Another thing that I've changed a bit is the templates. There's a lot of questions about templates. What's the best template? Does ETS know if I'm using a template? Do I need to use a template? So again, like the note taking, a lot of leeway with students. I say, here's a template. Here are a bunch of synonyms, for this template and different ways of using the same phrases a different way. Make your own if you want, or don't use it at all. It's up to you. There's nothing in the ETS rule book that says you have to answer this way or anything like that. And then with the writing is, there's a lot of new things with academic discussion, but the big thing that I really tell students is that you should make sure that you contribute to the conversation. Don't just copy what people say. Don't try to paraphrase what they say. The integrated, you can do that a little bit, but not for that one. Instead, you want to try to add information, contribute to the conversation. So those are the kind of, newer things and things that have evolved over time, what I tell students for each section.
Hey, if you're watching this video, I've got a special gift for you. If you're struggling to find ways to fund your international education in the US, you can discover the secrets that allowed me to fund my education in the US, covering hundreds of thousands of dollars in my exclusive free course, which you can sign up for at sojournerscholar.com/funding. In this course, you will learn the strategies and resources I and many US international students have used to make their educational dreams in the US come true without breaking the bank. So don't miss this unique opportunity to learn how you can make your own study abroad dreams come true. Go to sojournerscholar.com/funding, linked in the description section below to sign up today. Once again, that's sojournerscholar.com/funding.